So next up, we've got Miranda Mathews, who's going to be talking about architecture, not art. She's a strategic and results-orientated senior manager with over 10 years experience, and she joined Treatwell as managing director of the UK and Ireland earlier this year, with 6 years previous experiences from Ritual.co. And she's originally from Canada and was responsible for launching Ritual into new markets across North America and the UK and Europe before landing in the UK. So really looking forward to this talk. Miranda, over to you.
Thanks, James. Oh, is this on? There we go. Hi, everybody. I'm really looking forward to speaking tonight. I've attended a few sales confidence events in the past, but they've all been online. So I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit nervous when James first reached out to me, being alongside 3 amazing CROs that have a ton of knowledge and experience. I was slightly intimidated, but in thinking about what I would speak about, I know I've got some interesting lessons learned that I'm really excited to share tonight, and hopefully you guys find my perspective valuable. When I was thinking about which topic I would speak about, I immediately went to the things I was most passionate about, and that was, I talk about diversity and empowering young women. And then I thought, no, I'll talk about personal values and how you can align that with a business and how magical it'd be. Both those topics were taken. So I kept thinking about, what else really matters here? And it was really the thing that frustrated me the most over the last couple of years. And that's, how do you build great SaaS leaders, specifically from other business and revenue models like marketplaces, where I've had a lot of my experience. So like James said, I started actually in tech only 6 years ago. So I started working for Ritual in Toronto, where I'm from. And Ritual is a food tech marketplace. So our supply is restaurants in dense corporate areas. Think about places like Canary Wharf, and our demand were users that picked up coffee and lunch every day. So worked at Ritual for many years, launched new markets, was in London working in Canary Wharf, and the pandemic happened. So you can imagine what happened to our business pretty quickly overnight. At that time, our really talented product and tech teams built a white label SaaS solution for restaurants, so own label online ordering. And literally overnight, we pivoted from being a marketplace business to a SaaS company. Fast forward to where I am today. I work for Treatwell. Some of you may or may not know what Treatwell is. We're a beauty bookings platform, so we process about 1 million orders a month. And Treatwell's gone through the exact same thing. So historically, Treatwell was always a marketplace, and then over time, we decided to launch a salon management software for all of our partners, and did the same thing. We pivoted from being a marketplace to a SaaS company. The thing that really, I guess, surprised me the most throughout both of these transitions is really how underestimated this shift would be on the sales function. So if we take a step back and we look at the basic sort of fundamentals of a marketplace business versus a SaaS company, they're really not the same. So in a marketplace, what are you trying to do? You have to connect your supply with demand. You want the best supply to generate demand, and you need that demand to provide value to that supply, the chicken and egg problem, as we know. A few really important things here. Not all supply is created equal, the 80-20 rule, and you're on this race to market liquidity. So you have to build density quickly, and you do that by making sure you have the supply that matters. So if you're thinking about an online marketplace like Amazon, you need to have all of the brands or the products that people care about. Or if you're a real world marketplace like Treatwell, you need to have all of the salons in my neighborhood for me to want to open the app. If all of a sudden you become a SaaS company, these things don't matter as much, and all of a sudden you can sell your product to anybody, technically. Of course, things like ICP, lead qualification matters, but now you have to take a super systematic approach and rely on very different metrics. And your process, your pricing, and your payback is really what keeps you in business. So your teams really can't show up the same way. If you think about it from a marketplace perspective, you have to show up like special forces versus like a SaaS army. And if you think about it like through a partner or a customer perspective, asking someone to pay commission on only what they sell is very different than asking for recurring monthly fees up front. So for any salesperson that's been through this transition, it's like a slap in the face if you're used to the luxury of a marketplace conversion and you know these two things aren't the same. So when you go through a transition like this, a shift has to happen at every single level. Your salespeople need to drop the art of it all. You need to make sure that you're converting on that top 20% super, super quickly. Otherwise, you start to smell your cash burning, and you're really not going to be able to get demand quick enough. And your sales leaders need to operate like systems architects, and you need to make sure you're having all of these incremental changes that Jamie was just talking about happening at the same time. So you need to have the right tools, the right management, the right systems, the right mindset is really important. So your teams really can't show up the same way to be successful. So what I really want to say here is if you're going through this transition as a business, or if you're bringing in people from a recruitment standpoint, from these types of business models, you need to take into consideration how the skill set and all of the things that you may need to supplement for if you're moving into SaaS from a marketplace. If we're thinking about how to build the best sort of sales leaders, I kind of think about how you balance the systematic approach with more traditional soft sales skills as building a house. You as sales leaders are responsible for finding the materials, drawing the blueprint, and building the foundation. And you have to have the right managers and skilled specialists to interior decorate, to bring the whole thing together to make it feel like a home. And so when you think about it from a recruitment perspective, like I said, it's super important to supplement the right skill sets. But where else are we getting our sales leaders from if they're not from different businesses? And that's from within. So I've also spent some time thinking about the background of junior salespeople that come into different organizations. And traditionally, they're not from STEM backgrounds. Maybe some of them might be, but the majority aren't. I can't tell you how many times I've heard about salespeople saying, I don't know how I got here, but I'm here. And so it's really important to develop the right leadership and the right scientific mindset to think this way. From people that are coming into the organization, you're being really deliberate about when you feed that way of thinking in. So you don't want to do it too early in someone's career because you want to make sure they excel in their current role and they don't take on too much to have a whole new way of thinking while doing their current job. But once someone's been overperforming in their role for some time, I think it's really important to have them think through business problems and think through things through a completely different lens. Ideally, thinking about things that are more abstract and a little bit more complex and trying to find a way to make order and logic out of things that don't intrinsically have it. So I just think it's really important to be deliberate about timing here, and there's no perfect answer, but just make sure you take that into consideration as you try to build that right scientific, systematic approach to the SaaS leaders that you're growing from within. Pretty sure I'm coming up to my 7 minutes, so I just want to loop back and leave you with a couple of main thoughts, and that really is, don't underestimate the shift of transition, finding great sales leaders, SaaS sales leaders from different revenue and business models. It's significant. And also, if you're trying to grow the best salespeople from within, make sure you round out their skill set with the right scientific way of thinking at the right time. That's it for me.